This is the Ink Expert's powder shaker oven for use with our DTF desktop printer, the IE30. As you can see, it's crated up, so you can expect this to arrive on a pallet delivery. And you'll need a drill or screwdriver to get the screws out to open up the box. And this is what you can expect to find inside. Here we have the powder shaker oven. You will also find in the box the arms which are attached to the side of the oven, which house the uptake bar aluminium pieces. The uptake rollers here, which will fit onto the aluminium pieces, your UK 3-pin plug, and a core roll which we'll be using to roll the media onto. We'll get this assembled now and walk you through the steps. Start by loosening the screws on the side of the oven, 4 on the right and 4 on the left. There's no need to take them out entirely, just loosen them off so you've got enough room to fit the arms on. The arms slide onto the screws and you can then tighten the screws back down. Repeat the same process for the opposite side. With the arms attached, your oven should look like this. You'll note that the arms are wider than the oven. This is to affix on the aluminium brackets. You'll have 2 aluminium support bars inside of your package. We need to remove the screw caps from the end of these. Put them to one side, as we'll need to use these to affix the aluminium bars to the shaker oven. Next, we're going to affix our take-up motors. This one here is the right motor and this one here is the left. What we need to do is loosen off these screw caps to make sure that the aluminium bar can pass through, and we're going to push the aluminium bar through the first hole of our left cap and then our right cap. Temporarily lock the screw caps down and this will prevent the roller uptake from moving. Now we have fixed the uptake roller onto the powder shaker. Line up the holes that are on the aluminium bar and use the screw caps to lock them down. After we've locked in both sides of the uptake bar, we then fit the second aluminium support bar. We can tilt the uptake roll feed forward, slot the bar in, tilt it back down and lock in with the screw caps like we did the last bar. Lock the screw caps down firmly to keep the bars fixed. Now we can plug in the uptake roller into the powder oven. That completes. We'll now pull our media through the powder shaker oven. We'll start by loosening the screw caps on your uptake motors and pushing them out to the sides as far as they can go. We then want to load on the cardboard tube that was included with the powder shaker. Press this onto one side, push it across and then push the other side to meet it. We want this to be firmly affixed into position, and then we want to centre up the bar so it's in between these 2 black pieces on this roller bar. Once centred, lock down the screw caps and we can then pull the media through. Now we can lift the import tray and lock it into place using the support bracket underneath. To aid in loading the media, remove all of the covers and open the oven lid. Next, feed the film into the oven. We want to put it onto the input tray through this opening here and down into the base of the oven. The film will drop into the powdering area of the oven. What we want to do is grab the film and loop it upwards to come through the oven section. We want to ensure there's a U shape in the powdering section that will allow powder to gather on the base of the film here. With that done, we can pass the film through the oven section. We then push the film through the aluminium section of the oven, and we want it to pass through the black guides on this bar. These guides are adjustable by loosening the screws, but should be perfectly positioned for a 33cm roll. Pull the film underneath the uptake roller bar and onto the cardboard tube. We then tape this into position using masking tape, and this secures the film, allowing it to roll up as the printer prints and the oven cures. Ensure that your film is looped into the base of the shaker oven. If it's pulled up like this after fixing to the intake bar, press the down arrow on the front of your printer to feed more film through. You want a nice U shape on the film within the oven. Next, take the powder bar, which is the bar with the two metal discs on either side, and load this into the shaker powder area. We want this to rest on the film with a smaller disc inside the film diameter and the outer disc on the outside. This should rest on top of the film securely. We now load powder into the shaker oven. We recommend using a sieve to make sure that the powder doesn't clump at all. And we load some into this section here, and the rest we can load into the powder hopper. With the powder hopper on top, there's no need to overfill. Just put a small amount of powder in, and this will ensure that the powder on the film is a gradual release. We recommend using the metal roller bar inside the powder shaker oven as it keeps the powder on the film. This prevents you having to top the powder up frequently, giving you more time to do different things. We can now put the perspex lids back over the powder areas. With the powder shaker unit now set up, we can plug it in. We want to ensure that each heating switch, shake powder speed knob and powder speed knob is turned all the way down. Ensure the heating switch is in the down position, and this makes sure that the elements are off. We can now power the shaker unit on using the breaker switch on the right hand side. To set the temperature of your oven, first open the lid of the oven and then flick the heating switch up. This will turn on the display for your temperature gauge. We want to ensure that the temperature gauge is set to 70. If you click Set, you can change the temperature with the up and down arrows. Once set to 70, press Set again, and your oven is ready to use. We say to wait until the top gauge reads at the same temperature as the bottom gauge before closing the oven lid. Always ensure that the printer is in use and film is moving through the shaker oven before closing the lid of the printer. If the film sits stationary, you do risk burning the film. We can now turn the heating switch off, as we know that the temperature sensor is working and heating up. Next, we can adjust our shake powder speed. This is the rotating bar inside the powder shaker oven, and its job is to flick off any excess powder as the printer is printing and powdering through the oven. We turn this up slowly, and what we're looking for is a very gentle tapping on the powder. This gentle rhythm is what we're looking for. The powder speed control switch controls how fast powder is fed into the base of the powder shaker unit. We turn this to 40, and this is more than enough to powder the film inside. Now this bar will only start to rotate when the micro switch inside the powder shaker oven is lifted, meaning that there's not enough weight on the film and the oven knows that it's time to add more powder. With our film powdered, the oven set, the last thing we need to do is switch the uptake bar on by flipping the switch up. You may need to adjust the tension using this small knob here to ensure that the uptake bar is taking the film in. And here we have the IE30 up and running with the powder shaker. As you can see, we've got our extraction system attached to the oven, and that is extracting all of the fumes from the curing process externally. We recommend doing this for every install, so make sure you've got some flexi ducting and an inline fan that can draw these fumes out for safety reasons. Now the printer is printing out a standard test print. This is feeding through the oven, powdering in this section here, curing in this section, and then is being taken up by the uptake roller on the front. This is curing at 70 degrees as the print that's coming through is quite slow, but 70 degrees will cure almost any print. At the end, you'll have a roll ready to ship out to your customer.